Jay's Custom Creations is supported by Timber King Sawmills. For more information on my 1220 CRZ sawmill or many other fully hydraulic sawmills, go to timberking.com. Well, hello there. Today is an exciting day. Today is CNC 2.0 day one. All of the aluminum extrusion and rails for the beginning stages of the assembly. We got my two helpers here that are probably not going to do anything but give me some emotional support as I turn 16,000 screws. All of the boxes up here are for later stage assembly, the Z-axis, the spindle, all the cabling kits, all that good stuff. And over here we've got some accessories, or not accessories, some components of the base assembly. So where's it going to go? It's going to go right here. You see these four corner marks with the blue tape? 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's a big machine. It's a big machine. It's going to have a capacity of 5 foot by 12 foot. And everything is kind of crammed in and scattered around. But I promise you, once this gets assembled and everything is cleaned up, it's going to look totally different in here. This is exciting. This is very exciting. AvidCNC 1.0 in my last shop was a 4 foot by 10 foot machine. It had a rotary on it that I didn't dive into as much as I thought I would. I had some business plans fall through. That's a topic for another day. I had a vertical table, which I think is amazing. I don't understand why everyone doesn't put a vertical table on their machine if they possibly can. It is incredibly awesome being able to cut both mortises and tenons on a CNC machine. I think it's fantastic. You can do dovetails, you can do box joints, you can do all kinds of fun stuff with a vertical table. So the last machine was very, very capable. Why did I not keep it? Well, and the fact that they're modular, I could have added on and made it bigger and bigger and bigger as I needed. But we moved an hour and a half away. It was a big life change. We sold our comfortable life and moved to this place to where we have a rather large property that we love. We love being outside. We're close to family. We have a fantastic community here. All of our friends are still here when we move back. And it's just, this is our forever property. We're not moving from here. There's absolutely no reason to do that. We have everything set up as a generational property here. We love it here. However, during this move, I had to pack all of the shop, including all of our household belongings, into a single 40-foot shipping container for this whole life change to work. We lived out of our camper for a little while to get all this set up. And here we are over 2 years later, and I'm just now making the switch back into woodworking primarily. And when we had to downsize all that stuff, well, that machine was huge. It's a huge machine. It was 4 foot by 10 foot capacity, plus the extra space needed for the control boxes and the cables and whatnot. It takes up a little bit more space than what the capacity is. When we moved, I didn't want to disassemble that machine. I really didn't. Kudos to you if you've done that before, but that's a ridiculous amount of pieces to keep up with. And then also, number two, I just didn't have the space to store it. There was no more room in our shipping container. When I say it was full, I mean it was full. And what I did is I sold it to a friend of mine over in Atlanta, the Atlanta, Georgia area, STL Woodworking. You can find him on YouTube if you still want to see that machine. But that allowed me to kind of take a break from it and think about what I really want to achieve with the next setup, because I mean, there's no way I'm not going to have a CNC machine in my shop. It's just, they're just such a valuable machine for the way I like to approach woodworking. I know they're not for everybody, but for me, I like to approach woodworking with that as one of the many tools in the arsenal. It's just so fascinating to me, the process of having an idea, engineering that idea out in digital space like SketchUp, still using SketchUp as my 3D modeling space, taking that, if it is a 3D modeling aspect, and putting it into a program such as VCarve, some program where you can generate toolpaths, and then taking that toolpath to the machine and having it cut it out very, very precisely, just the way you designed it, and then be able to assemble it like Legos. It's I mean, it's just such an interesting process for me. I don't have all of the details worked out with the spoil board and the vertical table, and I'm holding off on that on purpose because I didn't take you guys along for the ride when I designed all that. I just kind of showed you what I did and why. So we're going to design it out. We may not go full-blown spoil board and vertical table right from the beginning, but we'll work out all those details based upon needs rather than doing a full-blown setup based upon how I think I'm going to use it. I've got a lot of experience with the last machine and what I want to accomplish with this machine. We're going to have a vertical table. We're going to have a large surface area for not only slab flattening, for tabletop flattening. There's a couple guys that I work with locally to do work like that, so a little bit of income on the side. And I also want to be able to do timber framing on this thing. Maybe I can't do like a large 10 by 10 post or something like that. I don't think I'm going to have the capacity for something like that, but I will be able to have the capacity to cut mortise and tenon joinery on, say, 5.5 inch or 6 by 6 stock and lower. So maybe a timber frame, over the top timber frame chicken coop and stuff like that. I've got a lot of really good ideas, and they will all play out in time. But we're going to be able to have this thing set up. I want it primarily set up for vertical table joinery and beam joinery. That's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be a lot of focus going forward. And like I said, I'm just excited. So I need to shut up, put a fan on because it's hot in here, and actually get back to work. This thing is the hardest part. You spin it on.
Am I getting it right?
Yeah. That's sometimes a little hard to get started.
I was going to touch it all.
Yeah, you gotta come in the right direction. That is a huge machine. That's big. I mean, it's the same size as the corners that I have marked out on the floor, the space allocated for it, but seeing it, sheesh, that's a big machine. Anyway, all this will be cleared out and have a dedicated walkway through here. I wanted to position it so the back of the machine is in line with this side of that door to maintain a walkway through here, and I'll eventually build a miter saw station on this wall. And then on this direction right here, I want it to be on the inside, just on the inside of this door right there. That way I still have a full, that's a 12-foot long door, I still have full egress all the way in here. And for bigger beams and whatnot, there's plenty enough space to use the forklift, or I've got a mini skid outside that can easily come in here and drop off a beam and or a big slab table or something. There's plenty of egress right in here. And then also this table obviously won't be here. And I've got plenty enough room for the table saw. The table saw is on a mobile base. I can just twist it around if I need to come out this direction for something longer, which is very few and far between. Yeah, this is this is exciting. Now you see my tape right here, it's sticking off on the side quite a bit. That's because I still have to put the electrical box and the what's it called, that cable, the cable track, that's what it is, to put it on this side. So it's going to stick out just a little bit, but this gives me plenty enough space over here to use my other machines, the jointer and the planer over here, and then that sander right there. And if I'm using these machines, that means I'm not at that particular moment using the CNC machine. So the CNC I can use as a big staging table for all my material in and out of these other machines. And yeah, everything's working out quite all right. I was really hoping to get a little bit further today. I was hoping to put the rails on there, but we had a lot of family stuff going on today. And at this point in my life, yes, I do have to work to maintain income for the family, but I'm trying to prioritize family first whenever possible. So I'm not really busting my butt to get this thing done today by any means. So that means tomorrow we'll pick up with the rails, starting with, I guess starting with the front. Now, if you are familiar with one of these machines, you'll know that this looks a little bit different than the standard instructions. When I had my last machine, I had the front rail, these pieces right here, the vertical pieces, in line with the front side rail right there. And there was another horizontal rail in the front, and then kicked back in, say, I don't know what it was, 12 inches or so. That's where my vertical table was. And I didn't want to do that again. Avid actually changed their instructions around a little bit and allows more room on the front side for a vertical table. I am not doing it exactly the way the instructions are stated to assemble this. So one of the joys of this type of machine, you can build it out however you want to build it out. And for me, I wanted these side rails to be 7 inches in front of the front vertical legs. That way, when I put the first rail is actually going to go right here, not right here. That way, when it homes, it's going to be out off into space. But I can put my vertical table back here where the front rail is, and I'll have a nice wide open front space. Technically speaking, that'll reduce my flat capacity by just a little bit. However, this is a 12-foot machine, and I'm going to have several different stations. I mean, obviously I can use the whole thing for a big table flattening job, but in the meantime, I'm going to try and dedicate this left-hand side, this first, say, 12 inches, or probably less than that. I'm going to dedicate that side to putting large beams on here. That way I can use a forklift and just set them in place right here. And this right-hand side over here will be dedicated to, well, not dedicated to, but it'll be optimized for sheet goods. And of course, we have the length we can play around with as well. It's just so many options, and it's so exciting. With that said, I have been sweating my butt off in the shop. It's not climate controlled, but I left the doors down because it's just miserable outside right now. It was all sunny and rainy today. So it's like, I don't know, 6,000% humidity here in the shop. It's a little bit less than that. And with a fan going, it's not too bad, but I turned the fan off to record this. So I'll pick back up tomorrow, and tomorrow's going to be a great day as well.